Mark Lee grew up on a mink farm near the small town of Iroquois, Wisconsin. The town's humble beginnings can be traced back to 1846, when early settlers arrived and established a foundation that has shaped Viroqua's unique character over the years.
As I was in the second grade, and I went to a one-room country schoolhouse. We had 8 grades in the same room, and we had the same teacher for my entire time there. It's kind of like an advanced learning program because you're in the same room. You may be in second grade, but you're listening to 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th grade. And so if you want to pick up, things that aren't really for your grade level, it just naturally happens that way. So it's a pretty neat way to learn. And on May 5th, 1961, our teacher, Mrs. Parker, brought in a TV set. But to get the reception, we had a coat hanger out the top. We put aluminum foil on it, and we watched Alan Shepard's launch. Our mink ranch, where I lived, was on a low-level route for the Air Force and Guard. It still is. And there'd be C-130s, and there'd be other airplanes that would fly right over the top of the mink ranch. And I'd look up, and I didn't know what kind of plane they were. I didn't know any pilots. I didn't know any engineers, none of them in the city. But I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. Maybe that's something I'd like to do someday.
Mark entered the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1970 and graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering. While in the Air Force, he flew F-4 Phantoms, earned a master's degree in engineering from MIT, and worked in the AWACS program office. He applied to NASA's astronaut candidate program and was accepted in May 1984. He would spend 17 years at NASA in a variety of key roles.
SRO.
SRO, so you have a range clear to launch.
And CDR.
Enjoy the ride, pal.
Lee's first shuttle mission was on STS-30 in May 1989 to deploy the Magellan probe.
I was in charge of deploying the satellites. So when you get up in orbit and you get into the sequence of getting ready for it, one person runs it. It's generally the mission specialist. That's why we got that name. So I'm the one who says, okay, here's the sequence. And so everything during that time frame, the mission specialist kind of runs the show. And so we deployed the Magellan spacecraft, and it went off to Venus to map the surface of Venus. And we came back. We didn't get to land in Florida because of weather, but landed in California.
Lee's second shuttle flight, STS-47, and date was a joint Japanese-American mission to conduct experiments in the Spacelab J module carried in the shuttle's cargo bay.
They decided that for Space Station, they wanted to make sure that they had a way to self-rescue if someone made a mistake or got disconnected. It had to use existing equipment, and it had to be safe, it had to be non-propulsive if it failed. There were a lot of little criteria, so we had to figure out how to hook it to the suit, how to train for it. And this was the infancy of training with a computer simulation. Now you could put the whole simulation on your iPhone. Back then we had to have a pretty significant silicon graphics machine to make the virtual reality training work. But we got rid of a lot of the physical trainers and changed them to virtual reality training as a result. of this jetpack.
Lee's third shuttle mission was STS-64 in September 1994. He served as mission specialist and logged nearly 7 hours testing the self-rescue pack and performing the first untethered spacewalk in 10 years.
I was flying a jetpack. I was supposed to go up about 25 feet above the shuttle. And it was one of those things where it was just at a sunset. And I'm sitting there looking at this sunset, and being outside on a spacewalk is so much different than being inside the shuttle looking out a window. I mean, all of a sudden, this whole world opens up to you, and I mean, basically from ear to ear, you're looking at a sunset. And I wasn't known to be someone who, you know, talked a lot or showed a lot of emotion. And I said, wow. I mean, over the radio, I said, wow. I mean, it's been how many years? 31 years since I did this. And I still get goosebumps when I think about this view.
His fourth and last shuttle flight was on STS-82 in 1997, a mission to repair the Hubble telescope. In his 4 shuttle missions, Mark Lee spent 33 days in orbit, circled the Earth 517 times, and traveled more than 13 million miles. His 3 spacewalks totaled more than 19 hours.
There's another good story about the training system is the administrator of NASA said, okay, I don't want these guys up in space jetting around like space cowboys. Some guy did a pencil drawing of me, put it up on the wall, and underneath it says, no space cowboys. So Clint Eastwood came down there when they filmed their movie Space Cowboys, but it wasn't called Space Cowboys at the time. I'm pretty sure he looked up on the wall and saw this picture, and all of a sudden the movie has the name Space Cowboys, which he looks up at this drawing of me. All of a sudden his movie becomes the Space Cowboys.
Mark has logged 4,500 hours of flying time, mainly in the T-38, F-4, and F-16 aircraft. He has earned numerous awards for his service as an Air Force pilot and NASA astronaut, including the NASA Distinguished Service Medal, the Legion of Merit, 4 NASA Space Flight Medals, and the Distinguished Flying Cross.
Well, I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think of, flying a jetpack in space as, qualifying for it. But when I look back now, you built a system, you built training, all that were, instrumental in changing the way we do training. The flight itself wasn't a great reward, but, getting the Distinguished Flying Cross for it, I thought was pretty nice.
So when you ask Mark about paying it forward, giving presentations, and engaging in conversations with both junior and senior students during Deke Slayton Space Week, he always responds with enthusiasm and genuine passion for inspiring others.
But I came here and talked to the kids, and it's been a lot of fun. So just to get the questions that the kids have, they've kind of included me with, Deke Slayton exhibit and put one up for me that has, a lot of the pictures and a lot of the things that I was known for. I've often said, if you fly for a living, how can it get any better than that? When you look back at a life and you say, man, I don't think I'd do much different. You must have done, kind of a good job and be happy with what you accomplished.